Hello and welcome to All Talk No Dice, the worst excuse for a D&D show you can find online. From last we left off, the Companions of Fate all gathered together with the Wanderers to finish your business and continue on. After Finn gave Pop a very worrying answer as to what to expect, Aaron barely was able to show off his hunting prowess, narrowly not incurring another fatality. A strange letter was handed off to Maddie, and it was shared that it was a message from someone known as the Shepherd, a known black market arms dealer and cutthroat businessman at the head of a mysterious organisation. Gerald then decided it was time to play a game and picked out the simplest looking Duergar there, only to end up with the young man stabbing himself in the hand as his mother watched on with disappointment across her face towards your Kenku ally. Then, with a quick word of affirmation from Gerald, Maddie hurled a dagger straight to the man's chest and jammed one straight into the back of his mother after she charged like a wild animal towards him. Tensions quickly cooled as Finn and Pop were nearly passed out drunk, having the most insightful conversation before Maddie ordered the Wanderers to leave early. After Theron had tied off some loose ends with Livia, bidding a fond farewell and a big huh and a little punch to the arm, he rejoined all of you, and you decided to take the chance to head off yourself and say goodbye to Geralt for now. Now, after a very uncomfortable trek through the night, for Randall mainly, the armoured horses finally thud their hooves down into the dirt as you find your hardy carriage has just arrived in Guldrone. And as a quick glance reveals there is no one around, a complete ghost town of this small, cosy village, Aaron took to the sky and Pop began to panic and order Leech the Orc to get him out and take him home. Aaron, you began to see bodies scattering the gardens, lying cold and dead in their homes. Yet, one pair of eyes caught yours, those of an elongated, decrepit humanoid form. As the air grows silent, you all begin to slowly filter out of the carriage as Aaron lets out an ear-piercing screech that echoes across the mountains and gentle waters ahead. And this is where we pick it up.
How did that sound again? Sorry, I can't remember.
Oh, you can't remember? Okay.
Amazing.
As the screech echoes across, and you all look up, and you see a very worried face on Aaron. As all of you look around, and there is not a single soul around.
Can I look on which direction Aaron is looking at?
Sure. Roll a perception check for me, please.
Yep.
I'll look over to Gerald. I'm like, so the Padrine, are they still on the ship or not?
18 perception.
Go check.
Oh, fucking hell, dear.
So 18.
18.
Should have. I'm prepared.
Sure.
You notice where Aaron is flying to, and where he begins to veer and coast away from. But his unnatural 360-degree head turn gives off.
Oh, it's not 360. Is it?
Shut up. Let's say 200 degrees then.
Gerald
It does give off the direction of, at least from what you remember, the part of the small strip of merchants.
Okay.
At least that area over there.
Nice.
I'll say to you, Gerald, before you go to the ship, I'm like, just watch my body. I'll walk out in a minute.
Right.
And I'll use the owl to go have a look on the ship, see if anyone's.
All right. After you say that to Gerald Theron, you just walk out, and your snowy owl appears on your shoulder before just looking at all of you. Looks up at Aaron. And just flutters off and begins to fly over to the ship. As your snowy owl begins to coast around the ship, can you please roll a perception check with the owl stats for me?
You motherfucker, I haven't got him up.
How far away from Railof's family home?
About 10, between 5 and 10 minute walk, or fast walk.
Opposite direction.
Pop is already being dragged by Leech. On the sled is on his way to the home.
I'll just be dragging Theron's body towards that market district, but area then, if he's
Okay.
checking on the ship.
Okay, roll the strength check for me.
Perception +3, but I do have an advantage on wisdom perception checks on hearing or sight.
So roll advantage.
I already did. 19 was the best.
Okay, 19.
Plus 3.
Well, give me the fucking total.
Suspense, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love maths. Okay, so 22. As you coast around, Theron, you coast around the ship.
I don't. The owl does.
Yes. As you begin to coast around, you look across the top deck and you look to see barrels overturned. You see bundles of rope that are seemingly in the process of being tied up, stretched out. A smattering of tools that look like they were in use
So basically,
before
it's
they
like
were just dropped.
shit happened. So it's like, yeah. They were stopped.
tools and rope.
Okay, I'll walk back.
And at this point, Gerald.
3, by the way.
Okay. At this point, you walk back,
Oh,
and you are on the ground as Gerald is kind of.
Jesus Christ, Gerald!
Oh,
Fucking hell.
so heavy.
The ship looks like a fucking, like they were doing something and they had to stop like that.
Shit. Lilchi, I actually ignore going that way. I'm going to sprint towards the ship.
Okay, as you just see Gerald just in a panic, and just hurls himself past the huge ice chicken dragon and straight down to the shoreline port of Guldrone. As Gerald is sprinting there, is there anything anyone else wants to do?
I'm with him. I'm just going to run after him.
Okay,
Follow
right.
Gerald.
Finn, you blast it down and run after Gerald. Anyone else?
Bit of a sway on though, because I'm
Yeah.
still smashed.
Yeah.
Wait!
Have I got a taller building near to me?
No, you notice.
Jack Sparrow kind of run.
Yeah. The layout.
We're not in gear off now, boy.
The layout of Guldrone is very much just like almost like little bungalows of houses, like small, single-story homes and hovels, all almost like DIY sort of patchwork of scrap wood and any kind of material they could find is making up of these small homes and businesses. But there's no taller buildings. The tallest thing is probably the head of the ice chicken.
I'm going to continue to, if I'm not being disrupted by whatever Luke is looking at me, I'm going to continue to sort of keep an eye on it, on whatever it is, but keeping a safe distance.
All right. As you continue to coast and you look over at that same form, and you just see them staring at you and following as you fly around. Can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh,
From the
God.
floor's eyes view, can I see what meta-wise is looking at Aaron?
Ooh,
Or
nat
can I
20.
see what came from that?
Nice.
Nice.
You cannot see, like at this level, at ground level, you just see
What about
Aaron
buildings and shit?
like kind of looking over towards a small set of buildings for where you remember all of the businesses were for the little
Yeah, yeah.
stores and shops.
Well, in anticipation, I'm going to be Mr. James Bond, and I'm going to be sticking onto the walls and trying to get closer to where he possibly could be looking at
Okay,
to see
all
if
right.
I can
Roll a stealth
get
check
a
for me.
strategic advantage.
Yes.
I will.
I'll
put the
take
clothes on, go in busy,
Mm-hmm.
and I will start making my way. To wherever Aaron was going.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Roll
sort
the
of
dice.
you go in tow with terror as you drop the or you pull the invisibility. Aaron, you feel
It was 23.
23
but,
total. Thank you.
With my modifier, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, first roll. So, one of the it doesn't matter. Natural 20. Yay.
Yay.
So, 23. You you feel a slight twinge in your head for a moment, almost like a slight pressure, but you just take a sharp breath and it passes before you hear in your head just this cacophony of whispers for a moment. You hear in your head before it clears for a moment.
I'm gonna try and swoop down close towards the party, or actually they're split up, aren't they? I'm gonna go towards Tara.
Okay. So you hear that just building up in your head, and as you swoop down to Tara, as you see her like getting low and going to the edges of buildings and the walls and trying to like sneak around and just slowly make her way towards the creature you were looking at, or the building that she was at. You hear those whispers just alleviate for a moment before. I knew you'd come. And you swoop down, landing just next to Tara. Tara, what was your stealth check?
21.
21.
Arrow doesn't land on me, does he?
Hopefully not.
I am invisible.
Big ass talons as well.
Looks like Aaron's catching mice.
Yeah.
I'm just giggling to myself as I'm running.
I pull them up into a mouse. Nah. No, I don't. Just clarify.
Alright, so just as all this is going on, as Aaron, you hear those whispers and you swoop down towards Tara. Gerald and Finn, both of you make it up to the ship. Finn, for the first time, you see, as you get to the shoreline port, or the makeshift port, the only dock that you see is from the almost sandy and dirty shoreline. Is this fairly sizable, I'd say easily about 10 foot high, solid stone masoned wall that just juts out about 45 feet into the ocean. And you see it almost shrinks in size the further it goes out, as the water level does grow as the further you go out. And you see this incredible skyship. You see what looks like standard sails, a beautiful hard oak body, but you see just underneath, just barely peeking out of the surface of the water, you see these small little strips of cyan crystals just lodged into the rear and the underside of the ship. And you see along the sides there are these long and thin pieces of wood that look like they've got some kind of contraption within them, but way too complicated for you to understand right now, as you are just hurling after Gerald. Gerald and Finn, once you get up to the ship and you get on top of that wall and head over to where the gangplank is, what would you like to do?
Is the gangplank there? No, that's always good.
The gangplank is still there.
Yeah, and I'm just going to run straight across it. Assuming that I see absolutely no one on top, I will head down into the next deck down at least.
You head down, and you see...
I'll check the first immediate door if I don't see anything else.
First immediate door, as you get going down the stairs on that little middle part where you've got the kitchen, or the small little pantry, you see the door looks like it has been filled with holes. But you...
I'm guessing that's not what it looked like.
It almost feels like it's just caught on something, or something's blocking it behind.
Uh-oh.
That's it. I peek through the holes.
It's
then.
going to be a body. Let's
Okay.
be honest.
You peek through the holes. Roll a perception check with disadvantage for me, purely because you're looking through a peephole.
Yep.
Not that
Who
peephole.
doesn't?
No, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Who
It's
doesn't leave through
victimless
peepholes?
hobby.
13.
13. You look through the very... Well, from what you can tell, it's pitch black in there. But with your dark vision, you can see as it is dim. And you look through and you see immediately in front of the door there are crates of old, wasted produce and food that has just gone off or hasn't been used yet. You see stacks of these crates building up behind them, and just through one
quite early on
just
after we
through-
went there.
just through one gap between some crates, as you do peer in and you really try your hardest to see, you see the faint purplish pinky hue of flesh just behind a large set of crates.
No.
I go, oh, is that live? Seabiscuit, are you in there? I'm going to stop rapping on the door whilst this is happening.
As you are, and Finn, you see Gerald is just almost maniacally and viciously just trying to get some edge with the door. And
Gerald, it stinks in here. Is this what it normally smells like?
God, stop. Keep going. Keep going.
and just at that point, as you continue and try and slam through, I want both of you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Okay,
Really do.
17.
17.
17 as well.
Okay. So
Nice.
as Gerald, as you get a little bit more irate with the door, and you that one last slam, you get the door just a little bit. You hear some of the crates just slam down, and both of you see this bright green laser just shoot from inside the room, carving the door almost in half, as you narrowly duck to the side as it
Gerald, what was that?
Fucking no.
What do you mean you don't know? This is your ship.
Clearly, we just leave it in a state of disarray, don't we?
and you just after that, after you look behind you and you see on one of the main load-bearing beams just a char mark all the way up to the top, you hear the faintest
Seabiscuit, it's me, Gerald.
Gerald.
Are you hurt?
It's not safe. No, not safe.
What happened?
He came.
as you see the door that is now carved in half. Just you see some of the crates just slowly like being slightly moved, and just as that last crate, Finn, as the last crate in the middle of the door is the last one to be moved, you see 3 small purple tentacles reach out and grab the crate before just and pulls it aside. And as the one single door now kind of just falls apart, you see in this small pantry, the small almost kitchenette, you see the form of a purpley pinky hued beholder with any of the eye stalks at the end of the tentacles. You notice all of the eyes have been severed, and this creature is holding themselves up with 3 of their 8 or so tentacles almost as feet, as the rest of them kind of just drag them slightly. as you see
Okay.
this behold smaller than normal. This, I'd say, probably like a fully blown up beach ball size, so pretty sizable, but nothing too immense. And you see the look in this beholder's face is just pained and exhausted and afraid. Their huge eye is not looking towards you so much, but more at the ground and around themselves in horror and fear. And you see the form just slowly lurch towards Gerald.
I'm going. Okay. Just what? The town emptied. The ship. Is anyone even alive?
And you see the big eye look past you.
He is.
Gerald, who's he?
Do you mean you? Like, this. He doesn't matter. Just focus on any of the pluggerines. The rest of them.
One's alive.
Where are they?
And you see the eye look past you again, but looking more downwards.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm sure you did everything. Just hide for the moment. Theron is nearby.
Theo, I need him.
As the tentacles whirl away, and you see Seabiscuit, the small beholder, just like drag herself off to the side of the doorway.
I bet it was Bob.
Ew.
Bob, the last.
You
We shall see it. I will start to make my way down, check crew, followed by down into the cargo deck after, if not. I'd also like to just pop my head in to see if Lil G has evaded all the slaughter in this or has arrived after or whatever.
As you get down, the first thing you hear,
Oh, thank God you're still alive.
and the small crow just flutters and lands on your shoulder and like kind of nuzzles you for a second before you see the almost like the shock white, almost blind like eyes in the crow look over to the rest of the small crew deck.
Yeah. Let's have a look, shall we? And I'd also like to, as I move, just also check his feet to see if I did get what I asked for in the end, which was the dangerous cards.
All right, you look on his feet and there's nothing. You look just on the small little crossbeam rafter that he flew from, and you see a small little sealed bag.
In which case I will just grab that. Then I won't open anything up yet. I'll just pocket that into the haversack.
I will say, as you do turn your attention after grabbing the cards and putting them away, and you look to the crew deck, and Finn, you just behind Gerald, before you go down the stairs into this, what used to be a very nice, pleasant, kind of partially sparse and empty crew deck, but with multiple cots and laughter and bags and drinks everywhere. Both of you now look, and you see 4 cots covered with sheets over the form of multiple bodies lying still and dormant. You look across the walls, and there are pinholes everywhere.
Gerald, one of your animals couldn't have done this, could it?
Not even close.
Gerald, you see as the sheets are partially pulled down just to show their faces. You see the lifeless bodies of Turk, Oscar, Coda, and Xavier. As you see at the head of them, sitting down cross-legged, blood pouring down his chest. You see Bob just trying to stoically look over his brothers.
Shit, Bob, are you alright? I'm going to run up. I'd like to just push against his wound, and I'll cast Healing Word at. We'll go 4th level. I'm just gonna.
What?
Alright, so you push, you slam your hand, and you hear probably the only sound from Bob you've heard as you begin to cast.
Yeah, I'll cast it. I'll just be. It's okay. I'm here now, and I'm good. That is 7, 10, 14, 19 plus spell casting, so 23.
I swear that's more than you've ever healed Theron.
Yes.
There's a reason for that, Theron.
You feel a connection to the healing, and you feel Bob soak up every ounce of it. And you feel the wound underneath your hands just as you feel about 6 punctures seal up in his chest, and the blood stops running. And Finn, you look over to see Gerald with this broad-shouldered, bald man. Just kind of almost like buzzed and clean-shaven, very rugged, like a very strong, wide jaw, in this almost silvery, golden armor, in keeping of the rest of the bodies. And you just, as you say that, you see him look up.
I'm Finn. This has all been pretty weird.
And Bob just turns to you, Gerald.
He's new. He came from up sky. Long story. Finn, can you go down the deck? Grab some food and drink, please.
Food and drink. I'm on it.
Take some for
An
yourself
hour.
if you...
With this, as we sort of heads off, I'd like to Linda come up and like, well,
Just think about what happens.
I'm going to sort of delve, and I'd like to cast Detect Sport to try
Okay.
and delve immediately deeper to get a story.
Alright. So Finn, as you hurl yourself down below deck, you go below deck and you see, untouched, loads of crates of different food. You see barrels of fresh water and seawater. You see barrels of salted meats and fresh veg that is looking a little ripe but still edible. And you see different small cups and plates and sort. As you begin to bundle up some food and get a few cups of water as well before you head back up.
Yeah.
And as you, is there anything you want to do while you're below deck? While you're in the cargo deck, or are you just grabbing it and coming back up?
I'm
Coffee
pretty
for
much
wine.
I'm pretty much just gonna grab. I'll grab a couple of extra bottles of wine. Yeah.
Okay.
Tie them to the belt. But yeah, mainly I'll just find the closest sort of bucket, fill the bucket with fresh water.
You just wait till Theron does the audit.
Grab a bag, load it up with loads of veg,
Yeah.
meat, and yeah.
Okay, awesome. I will say, if you are going to strap those 2 wine bottles to your belt, along with the rest, I'll say you will have disadvantage with stealth checks from now on, until you begin
Okay.
to relieve them, just for the ding 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 as a glass
Yeah.
clatters against each other.
Depends how quickly he drinks them, though.
Yeah. But that can be alleviated. I'll say, as long as you have no more than 3 kind of glass things on your belt that are large enough to collide with each other, then
Yeah.
you will not have disadvantage on stealth. But
That's
for now,
fair, that's
as you begin to wander back up, you do hear that.
Oh, what
Think
if you
my
wrap
card
them in
then.
cloth and then put them on your belt?
We'll get to that bridge when we come to it. But Gerald and Finn, as you return, you see Gerald has this Pladrine. You've
Just a question. What's Pladrine?
So Pladrine, I'll say even though there's a question for meta, I'll say in game for both of you. You've heard stories of Pladrine or these voiceless soldiers within Valdur, and they were used by a certain lord who would push for a war effort and would basically make sure that none of their soldiers could disobey. And these men were trained from boys to be cannon fodder, to be soldiers, to be warriors, to be anything.
Basically, the Unsullied.
Yeah, them fellas who have their genitals locked off.
Although, don't worry, these guys still have the dick, but just...
Okay. Well, I wasn't worried, but
not so much the speech.
Be worried, they still have the dick.
Yeah. And
Pop still goes dick. Check, Gerald. Check.
And Finn, you get up there and you see Gerald almost like touching forehead to forehead while clutching the sides of this Pladrine's head. And Gerald, you cast Detect Thoughts, and you hear, "The lion came back. He came and he destroyed.
Oh, you motherfucker.
There was no running away.
Oh, the laser, the bullet.
I barely survived. I'm sorry I couldn't save my brothers. I worry everyone else is gone.
So immediately from that, I'd like to delve deeper into it to see if I can get more.
Okay.
Don't know if you're resistant for it.
He doesn't know what the effect is, so he's resisting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was it a wisdom save?
Sorry. Yes, it is.
Wisdom. Okay. That is a no. That's a 9. 9 to save.
No, he fails it.
9.
You delve deeper. What are you delving for?
I would like to delve into to get more of his vision of what he sort of saw.
Okay,
Did he just obviously bam, 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 and then that was it, or were people storming it as a fight, sort of style?
Right. You delve deeper, and at this point, you look to Bob's face, and you see his eyes sad and almost ashamed of himself as you delve deeper, and your vision just goes black. And in a moment, a scene comes to you as the light appears again. You are atop the deck, and you watch this ominous figure in a trench coat, a large dark brown Stetson, begin to just walk away from Guldrone towards the ship. You see someone chasing a guard with their sword pulled out. You see them chasing and about to hit them, and just at that point you see the figure, not looking, just pull their arm out, and a large blast from a small hand cannon leaves that guard dead and lifeless on the ground as they continue walking. Your vision quickly turns to the side and begins to head below deck. And just as you get down, or through the stairs, you hear a small voice. You hear just off in the distance,
Wait!
vision goes black again. Another scene comes into your eyes, and you are up against the wall looking towards the stairs of the crew deck, up against the back wall, panting, exhausted. You look underneath you, and you see Seabiscuit. You look back, and you see this figure has just got the fourth and last Pladrine on their knees, with blood coming out of their knees, looking towards you from under the Stetson, with the leonine features of the dark amber fur and the almost amber eyes staring at you from under the hat before the gun. And you just see a smattering of brain and blood just explode from your brother's head before next to you, you just hear no! And you look down and you curl away for a second as you see Seabiscuit's one eye begin to just glow before that sickly green beam just charges and is released. You see the figure get caught on the shoulder before hurling back into the stairs and running up for a moment before you turn, you grab Seabiscuit and charge and throw her in the pantry, leaving crates and barrels in front of her before slamming the door shut. And then as you turn behind, your vision goes black again. And in the pitch black, you just hear the muffled sounds of well, this is a shame, ain't it? And your vision comes back to you and back to reality. And you
Pulling back and looking.
You feel sweat pouring down your beak and your face, and you look at Bob, and you see just one tear is rolling down his cheek.
With my arm, I'm just sort of going to brush across to get rid of that one time. You did all that you could. I'm proud.
And
I'm sorry.
You see him
if he takes it.
Get to one knee and just hold a hand against his chest and bow his head to you.
I'd like to take him in to see if he just accepts my hug.
At this point, his body just kind of thumps into yours.
I'm sorry we weren't there to help.
And you see his head curl up to yours. And he just holds up his hand for yours.
Yeah, I'll take that and bring him up.
And he stands up. And
oh my god.
Finn, you notice as Joel kind of tenses to pull this form up as he stands, this not too tall, I'd say probably about 5'10", 5'11", this human man.
Not too tall.
Not too tall. Pale.
Still way taller than me.
Fairly pale complexion, slight stubble and unkempt, little bits that have grown out slightly now. Square jaw, very battle scarred. Stands up, and the thickness of his arms, the muscles, the numerous scars across his body are showing as he stands up and almost stoically just looks to Gerald and in complete submission just gets on one knee and bows again to Gerald, and then stands up, and as Gerald turns to you, you see in a flash just 2 steps as this Pladrine now stands eagerly behind Gerald like his own personal bodyguard.
Ooh. I would not want to fight him, Gerald. Did you guys just kiss?
No, I know you do not.
Introduce me to your friend. This can't look kind of handy for having a fight.
So, Bob, this is Finn, Bob.
How you doing, Bob? I guess at
He
this
can't-
point I'm gonna. Yeah.
You can't speak. There's not even much point.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, please be respectful and treat Bob like another human being, but don't
Like-
expect much in the way of words.
Like the silent type or like Aaron?
No, he just can't speak, I believe.
Oh. Okay. Well, listen, I've got you some food. I've got you some veg, some meat, some water. Like, do you want any of this, Bob?
Please, Bob. You've gone for enough.
And he just holds out one large hand towards you.
I'm gonna fill the hand with as much meat as possible.
And very eagerly, even before you're finished, you just see him like just begin to.
Hell of an
Bob, have
appetite
a
you
bit
got
of the
there.
core.
And he continues to fill his mouth just at this point with both of you. As Bob eagerly chows down. And you know of the beholder, Seabiscuit, still hiding away in the small pantry. Having not checked the captain's quarters yet. We'll go back over. And Terra, as you are getting low to the ground and pushing and keeping your back against various walls and hovels as you look and you switch.
Peeking around corners and shit, yeah.
Stealth check.
You hear behind you. She already rolled one earlier. You hear behind you.
I'm gonna turn around when I can hear the wings
Yeah,
flapping.
as you turn and you hold up your finger, Aaron, you land in the dirt just between two small buildings next to Terra.
What did you see?
I saw a figure. He walking out of one of the buildings. I felt his voice in my head. He was expecting us.
That's creepy.
And you'll just hear an invisible voice just go, what did the figure look like?
I'm gonna look exactly where his head would be.
Yeah, your head just.
He was thin, grey, black hair.
Oh, doesn't sound like anyone we know. I'll just pat you on the head with the invisible.
Pull my head back.
Yeah, as you.
How far away were they?
If I know the distance, can I tell him?
Yeah, tell her.
Tell her, sorry.
It's
Tell
ma'am.
I'll tell them.
Yeah, yes.
Ma'am.
You, from the distance that Aaron gives you, is roughly about 60 feet from where you are now. Not too much of a distance away, and
No.
yeah, easily reachable.
I'll just whisper to him both. I'll be like, I'll take the lead on this one. I'm invisible.
Yeah, you better.
Cheers. Now shut
Just-
the fuck up.
Just there on.
Shh. And I'll put my finger like that.
Terry,
on
you just
Terry's lip.
feel one finger push
Oh.
against your lip for a moment.
Okay, then I will grab for the finger.
Okay.
Now I've got contact
Okay.
with him.
Okay. Roll
I
a
will
unarmed
too, by the way.
strike to see if you can think. So right now, Theon, she's
Yeah.
going to see if she can grab onto you.
Natural 20.
But
But
do-
fucking natural 20,
Okay.
baby.
So
do I have advantage because can't see me?
Well, no, you make contact with me. I know
well,
where you are.
well, actually,
If I'm grabbing
Yeah,
for
bro.
the finger,
Yeah, bro. I
surely-
can whip.
okay.
I can whip my finger away.
I'll say because it's an unarmed strike and she got a natural
Yeah.
20. I'll say because you're invisible and it's only fair.
Yeah.
Disadvantage on unarmed strike. So roll one more time and see what you get, and this will go against Theon's AC. And if it goes on your AC or above, then she's grabbing your finger.
Okay,
You joking? 11.
you're fucking lucky. I rolled a 4. Let me just double check with
Oh,
the.
I
what's
did
this?
roll a 19.
Unarmed
though.
strike. unarmed strike is +5, so 9.
9. Just barely. As you go to grab Terra, and it's just barely just on the bottom of your hand. You just feel that finger pull away as you go to grab.
And I'll just carry on walking.
Annoyed. Be careful.
And
then-
as I'm walking forward towards wherever it is, I want to just check the traps and that along the way.
Okay, roll an investigation check for me, please.
I'm going to tell them, whisper to them, I'm going to keep eye from the top of the buildings.
Okay.
And I'm going to just flutter just to the top of the next,
Yeah.
to the building that he's hiding against.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to sneak. I'm just going to point out as well that my flight is completely silent.
Yes. Go you.
Yeah,
You're-
yeah.
Okay, so I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Shit!
So
19 plus 8, 27.
yep, cool. Awesome.
Well done. You can play
Nice.
maths.
Yeah. So, Aaron, you, after whispering that to Tara, and she gives you the affirmative nod, Tara, you look and you see Aaron like concentrate for a moment before his wings just, and the whole form just up into the air and just very gently on the top of the small little home you're next to.
Can I
Loads of
aim
this going on
toward-
as well. You know, a bird sees
Sick.
something.
Yeah. I'll keep a small glimpse of where I'm going, but I will do like an 80-20 to Aaron and where he's looking to 20 of where
Okay.
I'm looking.
So,
to
Aaron,
make sure I don't trip
can you
over
make
anything myself.
okay? Can you make a stealth check for me, Aaron? And as they run your checking around for traps, you don't find any traps around. As you slowly continue around, and you continue around a couple buildings and still weaving in between, not seeing anything.
25.
25. You are low to the ceiling of this building. You are silent, and you're sure that no one is going to make eyes on you. And you keep a watch over Tara as she begins to move through. When she passes a couple more buildings, you silently just almost like lunge yourself forward, but take flight just for 6 feet or so, 5 feet, 10 feet, just to land on the next small home, just to keep an overwatch on Terra.
Oh, sick.
And Theron, you continue invisibly to creep around, and just as you get to the end of these buildings, to around the back of a couple of the shops, and Terra, you are just about 10 feet behind Theron, and Aaron, you look over, and just as Theron's and Aaron's gaze meets the back of that one store where Aaron, you saw that figure standing, you see no one.
Huh. What's around this vicinity? Anything of note?
No, you see pretty much
No bodies.
around here. All you see is trash. You see buckets of shit that haven't been emptied. You
Cheers, mate.
Question: actual shit or?
actual shit.
Oh, okay.
You-
Oh.
I'm gonna send one of my little spectral birds to land in front of Tara and Theron.
Well, you
So-
technically don't know where I am, but
Tara.
Yeah.
And just to alert, like, to get her attention.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'll look down at it and then.
yeah, you see this
Knowing
like,
that
small
I've
little
seen
like
it from the bow of
starlight
it.
spectral bird just.
I'll take that as a step to the wall.
And then
And then
if she makes eye contact with me,
which I will.
I'm gonna point at the building.
You take point to where Aaron is pointing, and the dark, decrepit wood of the small shack that you remember entering a while ago. You look off to where his finger is pointing, and you see the side and the back of the small shack that you had once encountered the hag.
Rude. I'll use telepathy on Tara, and I'll be like, I'll go. I'm still invisible.
I can't do anything.
No, you can't. I'll just.
I'm gonna look back up to Aaron then and just go. "He's gonna die."
A snowball comes out of nowhere.
Shit.
I'll head towards the place.
Okay. You begin to step forward, and just as you get within about 5 feet of the radius of the building, you step forward, and you feel no different, and you continue to look around. Aaron and Tara.
Yeah.
You notice Theron's visage becomes clear and visible again as he gets closer to the building, about 5 feet.
Instead, I'll just knock on the door. I might as well fucking see me now,
Are you
can't
going from the back or the front?
Oh, you've got to. I'll use telepathy on whoever I can see when I look back.
I'd say from this distance, because there's like corners of buildings in your way to Terra, I'd say you see Aaron barely.
Okay,
just peeking up from
I'll use
one of those.
telepathy. I'll just be like, take the back. I bet you love it round the back. I'll take the front. Oh, tell Terra. I can't see her, so I can't use telepathy on her.
Okay, I'm going to do a sweet backflip off the building and land right next to Tara.
Roll acrobatics check for me.
Oh yeah, be stealthy.
Yeah. Stealthy
Depending
with
on
cool.
how high it is, there's the biggest shit that I take.
It's it's only a 13.
13. Okay. You.
I strong.
Off the roof.
You. As you go to backflip, Terra, you hear from above you, just like a slight grinding sound as you see one of the small little shingles from the roof just next to you, before Aaron and just backflips majestically off. And as he lands, Aaron, you feel like a slight in your ankle, slightly, only slightly, as you land, but you feel cool enough and majestic as you stand up again. For your super tall, was it 7 foot tall?
7 foot, yeah.
7 foot tall figure over Terra, looking very confident and majestic.
Okay, I'm gonna lean down to her and tell her that Theron's taking the front and that we should converge around the back.
What does that sound like?
Theron's going around the front. Me and you, we take the back.
Okay.
And I'll just...
Yeah, I can't whisper in Welsh.
Yeah.
I can only
That's
just
okay.
about do Welsh.
Listen, it's perfectly fine for me. I love it. So,
I'll
go
just
on.
rap on the door, but not too loud, I suppose. But
Okay.
just.
Are you doing that when we get to the back, where we enjoy the most, or?
Yeah, go on then. I'll do that then.
All right,
Amazing.
So Theron, you wait around the side of the building until you see Terra and Theron, Terra and Aaron,
Eagerly waiting.
like, just slightly creep and behind the back until you make eye contact with them and see them, before you all nod to each other.
No, I'm not going to make eye contact.
But either way, you see them, and at this point, you knock on the door on the front. And you wait for a moment. Both Aaron and Terra, you guys are sat around the back, and you see at the back of the shack is this small, very small little door, like I'd say almost halfling size.
Mhm.
But it's mainly due to the damage and the how like makeshift the building is. Whether they couldn't get a big enough door, or like the wood planks that they got just goes too far across and didn't have the tools to separate them. Either way, you see this small back door closed with no light coming from it. Theron knocks on the door, and in a moment, you see the door just very gently open up.
Huh. Bit suspenseful, that old door noise. Hi,
And
my name's Theron.
you see a dimly lit room full of trinkets and baubles.
Oh, no one's actually answered. The door's just opened.
Yet
Oh, well.
all of the small
That's creepy.
all of the small shelves and desks that once held different baubles and trinkets and items of value are cast to the side, almost like they've been launched away from the center. And instead you see this small thatch chair and a small, very small little writing desk in front of the tall, elongated form of this hag as she is looming over the table. And compared to you, the kid-sized chair that she is sitting in, and even sitting, you see her head is easily 1.5 foot above yours standing.
I thought you were going to say wide.
As her back is hunched slightly, and you see the grey linen robe, matted and wet. The greasy hair stringing down like ropes in front of her
That's
face.
what I'm talking about.
And
I'll
Like
just
she's got a similar posture to me.
yeah, well, just a little bit worse than yours. A lot worse than yours.
I'll just rock in, man. I'll just be like, I'll just be like, hi.
And as you walk in, you see the door behind you. And
Great.
And you look behind you, and you see the wood begins to like crunch and shift as that door begins to just, and it gets swallowed up into the wood.
Hearing the big bang, can we try to open the door a little?
As you go to reach for the door handle, you see the wood and the door almost begin to just liquefy and collapse in on itself before it just like swirls up like water going down a plug hole.
Theron kill box. Nice one.
And what's left is just solid wood.
Solid wood. They can be broken. Oh.
I'll just be like, I kind of need to get out in a minute. However, my name's Theron. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
I know who you are.
Wow, somebody keeps an eye on me, and I'll just give her a wink. So, you seem the type that does the seeing thing. Am I right? Wrong? You live the type.
You just see her eyes staring at you.
I mean, if you just moved the hair, I could actually see how beautiful your eyes are.
Feigning confidence.
Well,
I know your type, Theron Lovestuffson.
Oh, second name. Well, when you've been surviving, you kind of need some fake confidence just to boost you up.
That's lovely to hear. You do not survive. You hide, you prey on the weak, you make your friends protect you. You have nothing now.
Well,
But
I still have my
give
sister.
you what you want.
No, I don't do deals. I was just going to ask for some information. I can trade for coin.
Wouldn't you love to be in the kitchen with your mother again?
No.
One last time of happiness with your sister.
No, because these kind of deals don't tend to go the way you think they do.
Well, my offer is on the table.
I appreciate the offer. Thank you. However, what the fuck's happened with the town? We left, went to Girov, and seeing as you know what happened, I saved the town.
No, you didn't.
What do you mean?
You save nothing.
Okay. Agree to disagree. So what happened with this town?
Consequences.
Yeah, there's always those. And there's always a trail of shit that's left behind me, am I right?
And she just looks over her shoulder for a moment. And
Theron's just like... can I have a
you-
quick scan of the room? Is there no exits at all?
in a moment, as she looks over her shoulder, and you see the solid wall behind her almost just become transparent. And you see your friends confusedly looking at the wall.
Oh, I can see them, but they can't see me. I'll just like not at her, but I'll just be like, oh, they can't see me.
Would you miss them?
I mean, yeah. Well, maybe not the owl, but I've only just met him. I don't want him to die. I don't want Tara to die.
Huh?
Even though she does have some kind of soul thing inside of her, if that entity who probably wants to destroy the world, the universe, the multiverse, whatever. But surely you can see that, can't you?
I see a lot.
I'm sure you do, but give me some info. Come on.
Information. For a favor.
What's a favor? You'll know when I'll tell you kind of deal. I don't do those. Tell me in advance and I might agree.
I will tell you everything you need to know. And fill your ears with knowledge beyond your dreams. And
I don't believe in knowledge beyond my dreams. I believe in knowledge that I can read, hear, see.
Then all I ask, let me be your eyes.
Do I really have a choice? Considering you've, the exits?
You wish to leave? No smarter, gains nothing.
Well,
Very well.
you kind of freaking me out.
And you just see her long, gangly hand lift up and point towards you and just behind you. And you hear that of the wall crunching again and swirling outward to create this door once more before it sets in place.
I'll just rock up and I'll just put a gold on the table. I'll be like, just a quick information, like, who's...
You see her hands just like just push forward and just barely touch your chest, and as you do, you feel your body launch so far away. You feel almost your body looking down at this moment of Theron just launching through the door.
Like astral form, like kind
almost before your consciousness pulls back in and you are flat on your back on the dirt outside this home.
Was there any need in that? And I'll just chuck the gold in. I'll just be like,
The door's closed.
keep the gold. It'll bounce off and hit me in the head then.
And both of you, Aaron and Tara, you hear Nothing. No door opening, no crunch, no sounds of any type. Until you hear Theron outside the front.
Ah, for God's sake. What an absolute bitch. Greatest respects, though. Ah.
Can I try, if there's any windows, go under the windows and
As
try to wrap around the building?
You notice that there was a couple windows, very basic windows on the sides.
Yeah.
And just as you are about to pass them, you see them both. They just like swirl themselves away into blank wood.
Yeah. Still stealthily around this building, I'm going to look roof around to the front and see, poke my head around.
Yeah, if, Aaron, are you following or are you staying around the back?
Yeah, I'll follow you.
Okay.
Tara, help me up, will you?
As you follow Tara and she peeks her head around the corner and you join her, you see Theron on the ground, almost winded.
I'm going to do a quick look. I'm going to do a quick no, dash, grab him, and no, back like.
Okay, alright, roll a strength check for me.
Like I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking trash. Strength with a +1, 9.
9. You dash over and you go to grab the shoulders, and as you pull, you get like 2 steps before, and Theron, you just slam down hard into the dirt again before Tara grabs you again and keeps going.
No, I'm alright. Get off me.
And eventually, through a couple drops, you get Theron round the side of the building, around the corner.
Yeah. My brain was in it. I'm full out.
It's alright. I'm going to get up. I'm going to walk back. I'm going to knock on the wood because I know she can do that transparent thing and watch us.
As you knock, as your hand hits the wood, you hear no sound.
It's fine. I'll talk to the wood anyway, and I'll just be like, by the way, my fate's my own. But what a crazy fucking bitch. It's that hag who's in the town. I thought I could get some information out of it. She tried to do a deal with me. I was like,
So you decided to go back?
Eh? Oh, yeah.
So you got out all alive and thought, let me second chance it?
She only knocked me on the floor, a bit of my soul came out and came back.
And if you would have knocked again and you would have died?
But did I? No.
Would you want the risk?
Well, she said
I'm sure you pre-thought about your sister and how she'd cope with you dying.
Alright, guilt trip. Calm down.
Think about it next time, Theron. As I push him on the shoulder, like...
While this happens, I'm going to take off.
Okay.
I'm going to go look for the other two.
Okay. You begin to coast around, and as everyone just silently leaves both of you, is there anything you two want to do? Theron and Tara, for now, until we get over to the others.
I'll be like, well, I'll suggest to Tara, I'll be like, Tara, how about I walk out and just have a look? See if there's somewhere where bodies could be. Because there's nobody fucking here.
Do we know the direction that we would need to go to get to where Mogwai is?
Pop's home? Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, shall we go there, actually? Yeah, that's a better thing. Let's go there.
I'm going to say to Theron, why don't we go there? And then you do it. At least we're in a safe-ish place.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll do a quick check. There's nothing around me.
No.
Is my invisible cloak Bloody hell, put my teeth in. Can I use it now? Now I'm out of the vicinity of the house.
Yeah. As you
Oh.
step far enough away and you put the hood up, you see Theron just disappear.
Awesome, I love walking alone.
I'll just hold a hand.
You feel a hand grab yours.
It's not worth it.
So you two start making
Keep
your way.
walking. Just it's in any direction.
Yeah. You just
If anyone is here, they just think that you're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't give a
you
shit.
you both continue over to Pop-Pop's home, about 5 or 10 minutes away. Aaron, as you coast around, you see a very sizable ship, and you don't really see any movement on it, but you remember that was the direction that Gerald and Finn ran to. And you begin to head towards there and coast downward, and you just very gently land on the crow's nest. Gerald and Finn. As you see Bob standing stoically after his meal, and he just wipes away his mouth and looks to you, Finn, for a moment, and just bows his head in thanks, and to Gerald, he just looks at you waiting for the next order.
Great. You didn't see anyone down there, did you? Looking straight at Finn.
No, it seemed pretty abandoned to me. The food's on the way out, though. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been gone for a while, but yeah, it's definitely on the edge. I wouldn't want to eat much that's left that's down there.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
like-
problem for you mortals.
So, how can you find out from Bob what the hell went on here?
Magic.
I'm struggling to take you seriously here, Gerald.
That's fine. How about you ask Lil G here, pointing to get the crow that sat on my shoulder, and he might fill you in.
This guy can talk?
You can try.
What am I doing? So, Lil G, what the hell happened here?
And you see the crow just like flutter onto your shoulder, Finn, for a moment, and then look at
Yeah,
you.
Gerald's still gonna do that. Oh, dumbass thing.
And just begins pecking at your jaw and your neck a little bit.
Oh, I'm gonna quite vigorously shake him off.
Yeah, as you try to stop him and shake him, the crow just happily and just lands back on Gerald's shoulder.
That sounded
Don't you
so
go
wrong.
hurting Lil G now. He's a good boy.
Good boy. He's just taking off my cheek off. Plus, I'm none the wiser to what's gone on here.
At this point, Aaron, you hear muffled voices below deck from where you are on the crow's nest. You hear muffled voices conversing.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait it out. I'm not going in.
Cool.
Just gonna keep an eye on it. I don't really know who that is yet. Yeah.
What a crazy day. We should take one of the bottles of wine, pop the cork, take a bit of a swig.
I mean, as you can kind of guess, the ship was attacked. As by who? It seems to have been by some form of Leonin.
Some form of Leonin. I've heard of these. What weapons were they using? There's no claw marks. There's no bite marks.
Similar to these, and I'd like to pull out the haversack, the pistol.
Yeah, Gerald pulls out his small little pepperbox pistol. Small, makeshift, almost like carbine kind of gun, where it's just got a small little magazine in the bottom. And you shake it, and you can tell it's full of what sounds like pallets, or little ball bearings. But it is again, the best representation here is probably more of like a semi-automatic pistol, imagine like Borderlands semi-automatic pistol kind of thing. That kind of, but just a lot smaller and compact.
Ooh. Yeah, isn't this what Theron wanted to start making?
Yeah, but he wants like full-scale production, larger ones. He wants to go a bit crazy with it all.
I don't know. I still can't see how something like this could cause much of an issue, and I'm gonna sort of, I guess, grasp it and kind of point
As-
and
Put it in your
as-
mess
mouth.
with it.
And
as you
Cut.
grasp it and you mess with it, immediately your wrist and arm is kind of pushed back slightly as Aaron, all you hear, and Gerald, you are deafened by as shots, 4 shots just rain out of the gun across the wall. And Aaron, you do hear from below deck these small controlled explosions.
I'm like, "Whoa!" I'm just gonna drop it.
Yeah, as you drop it.
Yeah. Chasing over.
And then I'll look at the sort of bullet holes and be like, so that's how these all died.
How observant of you, as I'm going to pick up the pepper box.
As Gerald, as you pick it up, and Finn and Gerald, both of you are looking at these pinholes, these bullet holes. You notice one weird difference. The fresh ones that Finn just shot, the bullet holes are a lot smaller than the ones that are currently in the woodwork. I'd say the holes themselves, the ones that Finn shot, probably about 1/4 of an inch. The ones that were there before are roughly about an inch. 3/4 of an inch to an inch wide.
So these
Any
must
of you-
be what you were on about that Theron wanted to make.
I'm guessing so. Very big.
That guy's a nutcase. How can he think this is a good thing to make?
I mean, as you can kind of tell, it's quite effective at eliminating many targets.
Effective. Where I come from, this would be cowardice.
How about we go tell the guy's face?
You can't smell a guy's sweat as you kill him using this way.
Is that what's over your skin? The sweat of your enemies?
Oh no, this is just mine. And I'm gonna shake my beaver fur.
Yeah, as you shake all the fur, just you hear that as the fur just emits like just multiple sprinkles of sweat everywhere, like a dog getting out of the bath. Just
Yeah.
Oh,
too moist for me to handle.
Did you like that one, Bob?
and you just see Bob.
Yep, I'm gonna take that as a yeah. And then I guess we should find the other guys, let them know what's going on.
Yes, there's just one last thing to check, and I'd like to go to the captain's quarters.
Okay, you go into the captain's quarters. and
Caution.
Ooh, good idea. Loot.
It is,
You stay away from my stuff.
From our own.
and except for the wood chips that have been blasted through that back wall over into the captain's quarters, it's untouched.
Oh. That's weird. Right.
Although,
I'm gonna peek in behind you as well and have a good look around, see what the
okay,
captain's
Finn,
quarters like.
roll a perception check for me, please. And Gerald, if you want to as well.
Yeah, I shall do, actually. I'd like to see if anything has changed in one of the place.
15. Yeah.
Okay, Finn,
For
15.
me, 29. Wait, no. Wait, hold on. Did I read the right thing?
I hope
Yes,
not.
I did.
Sorry.
29.
Fuck me! Wow. Okay, 29.
You win the game.
Gerald and Finn, as you're looking around, you notice, at least for Gerald, the one thing that wasn't there before. You see a small little folded piece of parchment, like folded and standing like a triangle, just like that, on top of the small dresser, like bedside table.
Yeah.
And Finn, you eyed that up as well as the only thing that is a little bit more inconspicuous and a little bit more suspicious is, like, you look across the room and you see this grandiose king-size bed, 4-poster bed, lush with gorgeous duvets and sheets, and like the eccentricity and the lavishness of this one chamber gives off a nobility and a royalty and a, like, almost an overwhelming, over-characteristic poshness for whoever it calls themselves captain of this ship. You look and you see full-size dressers and a small vanity off to the side. You see the floors are nice, hard, treated wood. I mean, the rest of the ship is nice, but this is almost like, remember when you went to the keep, Theron's keep, and it was just tacky? It's nearly there, but right now it's still in the limits of lavish and luxury, as opposed to tackiness.
So better.
God. Forget the others. Bagsy bottom bunk. I'm just going to run, dive in the bed.
I'd like to block him immediately.
Okay, right. Finn, roll an athletics check for me, and Gerald, roll a dex save for me, please.
Save.
That's-
21.
Oh my word. What was mine? Athletics. That is a 3.
3, okay. Finn, you go to charge, and instantly, almost in a flash, you see the black feathered Kenku just like slide in front of you, and you go to dodge him, and you catch your foot, and you go smacking your head on one of the posts, and slamming onto the hardwood ground.
Classic Finn.
What the hell, Gerald?
Now is not the time for sleeping. Come on, we're going to find the others.
Oh man, you can be so serious.
Well, you know, it is my ship still.
Oh, so this is your bed.
It is my bed.
Ah,
This is the Brined Barnacle.
the Brined Barnacle. I like it. A little bit of alliteration there. I can tell you're aboard.
Technically, we inherited it, but it's still mine.
Ah, don't tell people that. Tell them you named it.
I think I will. Right, let's go.
I'll be opening up the note as I try. I'll just sort of want Finn to leave first before I leave, but I'll be opening up the note as we go
So
for it.
Finn, as you continue first out, and Gerald on the way
I
out,
was going to try and nick a duvet, but I'll notice that you wanted me to get.
Yeah, you see Gerald like waiting sternly at the bed, waiting for you to leave the room. Bear in mind, this room, the only thing separating it and the crew quarter is that back wall that is full of bullet holes. As you had turned around that wall, it is just an open. There's no doorway, there's no door frame. It is just an open space to walk into. But as you begin to get around the corner, after being a little bit disappointed you don't get Gerald's duvet, Gerald continues walking with you slightly, just behind you around the corner. And Gerald, you flick it open, and you see 3 words written in common in gorgeous cursive. Be seeing you.
I'm gonna keep that.
And you both make your way through the crew deck up to the poop deck, to the main deck, and Aaron, you get a little bit more wary up on the crow's nest as you begin to hear of footsteps coming up through the stairs and through however many decks are below. Is there anything you want to do as you hear those footfalls grow louder?
No, I'll wait for the emergence.
Okay. You like just get low and you stay there quietly and silently, and you worry just before you see your Warder Genasi ally, followed by the Kenku, just out. And you look at Finn, and he's a little disappointed, but still with that smirk on his face. And you see Gerald. Gerald does have a worried look on his face for a moment before he comes out, and you see him like not looking at you at all, just compose himself just behind Finn as both of them emerge on the main deck.
I'll just like step off and just land
I love that.
next to them.
You just take one step and just drop, and both Finn and Gerald, a blur of amber and brown and white. Oh, sorry, of white feathers, right? A blur of white and slight brown before just coast across your peripheral, and you quickly snap and you look as Arwen lands and stands up tall in front of you.
As it goes, pulls her out.
I immediately summon an ice knife.
You see Finn just like summon it and hold it in his hand.
Jesus, don't scare us like that.
You're gonna have to start hooting.
I'll do like a hoot in response to that.
What does that sound like?
Yep, bit late now, but next time. I'll unsummon my ice knife.
I'll look away.
Like I'm.
It's stuck to your hand.
Where are the others?
We were checking out a house over the way there. It seemed like it was controlled by a hag.
Okay, and how did that
She
go?
didn't. She did not help us.
How come? They normally offer you something in return. I've dealt with these before.
The wizard.
You let Theron handle it.
The negotiations were short then.
Nod.
Fail.
Well, I suppose no one must be dead because of this, right?
Sorry, what was that?
No one must be dead because of this.
I cannot tell.
Also, Theron could be dead.
Oh, sorry. No, Theron is not dead.
Ah, shame.
Now you're getting it. Poor Theron.
Ah, Theron hate.
By the way, we should probably take cover, don't you think, Gerald? Oh, by the way, Arwen, this is Bob. Bob doesn't speak, so you two will get on just fine.
Behind Gerald, you see this 5'11", broad-shouldered, muscular human man with a death stare that can rival yours.
Okay, in that case, I'll just, I'll go. And just stare at him.
Yeah, you see Bob unmoving. Still, he's blinking. You're not, but he's still holding your gaze.
I'm gonna remain that way until something else changes.
Yeah, I am looking in between them like. Ugh.
Life of the party, guys. Life of the party.
Okay, come on, in between you, both faces.
You
It's
click
time
and
to-
nothing changes. You just see Bob still staring at Aaron, still staring back.
The best thing is, Aaron can start walking and just swivel his head and still do it.
Hello, we need to go check up on everyone else. There seems to be an empty town. Apart from a hag.
Oh, and by the way, Aaron, keep your eyes peeled because it turns out they have them little metal pellet firing devices. That seems to be what we're dealing with here.
I'll finally look away,
Yeah,
and I'll look at Finn
Ah,
and say, "Yeah,
You lost.
metal devices."
Yeah, you remember the ones we saw
Gerolf.
in the hovel with the Wanderers?
Yes.
Because I chucked you on, didn't I?
made it moist.
It seems that the rest of the crew, they're all dead, apart from Bob. So,
And then I'll not whisper, but I'll be. And what killed them?
ooh, yay, nice and loud there, nice and loud.
Say,
And then I'll look back at Bob.
Indoor voices.
yeah.
Indoor
You
voices.
see Bob, who was looking partly towards Gerald, and then as your head snaps, you just see his very gently.
Yeah, I'm just going to take Aaron by the shoulder and kind of whisk you down towards the gangplank way. Be like, yeah, so them devices that they had, I think it was called a pistol or something like that. Turns out that they can fire metal objects, and it's killed at least 4 people down there that I could see. Potentially the rest of the town. Either way, you might not be safe at a distance, so keep your eyes peeled.
Metal objects?
Hey,
Metal objects on fire?
no, like metal objects moving through the air.
like arrows.
Like this?
Yes, yes, exactly like that, but much smaller, it seems. I don't know if you heard, but I just fired one downstairs and did a pretty good job.
Yes, I
Fire?
need more air holes in the ship.
This boat needs holes.
I'm gonna roll my eyes. Anyway,
I'm gonna
Let's all go.
continue to look bemused. Or, vacant, or, it's an owl face, so there's
Yeah.
not much being conveyed there, is there?
I will turn around to Bob and G. I'm going to take little G off and just sort of put him on Bob's shoulder.
You stay with Bob? Bob, just carry on looking after the ship. I'm going to summon you some aid just in case.
And I'd like to bring out, what's it called? Adon's necklace. And I'm going to cast summon Draconic Tree Spirit.
Come out, you sexy goddess.
And I'm going to cast out. I'm summon although slightly spiritual, you can quite tell it's like a white and blue spectral dragon, around about 20 foot in length, is going to just suddenly appear out onto the deck.
Out of the necklace as you cast it.
And I'm going to give it the orders.
Circle and protect the ship. No one comes on until we get back.
And you see it just like reach over one of its large legs over the ship, off and into the water as it just hits the surface below, and just begins to just step and circle and very slowly creep this colossal beast, this monster, around the ship. And just as you leave the dragon circling and taking Finn and Aaron back below deck for a moment, Terra and Theron, you hurry up and you just make it to Pop-Up's door. And as you get up there, up to the doorway. You look through into the dim light, and you see Pop Pop on the sled is just looking across the small kitchen.
Uh-oh.
On the way to there, did we see any holes
No.
outside of the building? No. Okay.
And you just look at him staring at the gruesome mess that is laying in front of him. And that's where we're going to take a quick break and come back in just some time to
Happy
to continue.
times.
Happy times. But yeah, to everyone watching, we're going to go take a quick break for a little while to go to the bathroom. We'll get some snackies. So if you need to, please do the same, and we will see you back in just a short while. welcome back. As we come back in, the Companions of Fate finding Gauldrone empty and barren. Gerald and Finn ran to the ship to find a massacre of Pladrine, leaving only Seabiscuit, the small, shy beholder, and Bob, the right-hand man, and used to be the leader of the Pladrine in Gerald's stead, left alive. And you witnessed a smattering of pinholes that were significantly larger than the ones that Finn showed a very good example of when he messed with the pepperbox pistol that Gerald handed to him. While that was happening, Pop and Leech had sprinted to his own home, and Arun, Terra, and Theron decided to investigate the hag. And after a very short conversation between Theron and the hag was cut short, the building remained closed off and inaccessible before Arun decided to fly away and meet Gerald and Finn over in the ship, and Terra and Theron hurled themselves to Pop's home. And just as Gerald had created this ethereal silver and blue dragon to begin to take a watch, this immense being 20 foot from nose to tail, to begin to circle the Brine Barnacle and keep a watch for anyone else. Arun and Finn, Gerald began to take you down below deck to show Arun what had occurred, and Theron and Terra, you had made your way and found Pop's home. And just as you look through the open doorway, you see Pop sitting on that sled with Leech just off to the side. And just past him you see the lifeless and long dormant bodies of Rory
Oh shit.
and Raylof's grandmother, aunt figure, as Trimbar, you see, is just staring wide-eyed with his back to you into the kitchen, seeing his wife and son, or grandson, lying dead in pools of their own blood.
Trying to hold the tears, I'm going to nicely, softly put my hand on his shoulder.
As you just gently put your hand on
Trying
his
to make it as
shoulder.
least threatening as
Yeah,
possible.
you
To
just-
not be like,
You just
"Shut."
gently lay your hand across his shoulder, and a slight twitch before he just accepts it for a moment. And you see Pop turn his head slightly. Leech! Come over here! And you see Leech walk over and squat down towards Pop. And Terra, you feel his shoulders almost grow slightly. And you see veins in his neck behind the bushy beard begin to just pulse and surface.
Understand where I'm going to release my arm away.
And he just reaches over and grabs Leech by the back of the head. And you just see him turn to him, and in this small space, just deafening for Theron and Terra, you hear Pop and starts headbutting Leech over and over and just cracking his nose, and you see blood against Pop's face and Leech's face as he begins to get dazed as he's consistently headbutting through.
I'll use momentary stasis on Pop.
Right.
DC Constitution of 16.
Con save? No, he rolled better than that. That's a non-natural 20.
I know. Yeah, I know.
As you attempt to cast, and
It's like
Pop for a moment just kind of stutters before right slamming once more, and you see blood across Pop's head and face. You see Leech with his nose busted and bleeding, and you see Pop just in that moment after he's twitched slightly, he just snaps his head to you, Theon. Don't you be trying anything, little girl. And he just slams one final headbutt, and Leech just and he just coughs up a couple teeth and fangs as Pop just looks down to him. Thank you.
Pop. I swear to God, I'm gonna kill whoever's done this.
Of course you are. And you just see him just get off of the sled and just drag his body over, and both of you take a look and you notice that as his wife is just cast across, eyes open and mouth agape, like sprawled across the kitchen floor heading for that back door, you see, at least with the way it's positioned, Rory is on top of her, almost as if you'd tried to shield her in that moment. And you see Pop just drag himself just towards them, and he just flops out like just embracing both of them. And you just hear Pop slightly mutter, "You did good, Rory. You did good." And he just holds himself there against their lifeless bodies.
I'm just going to let him probably have his moments because he's in this mental, like, angry and upset phase. I'm just going to try take it all in as to let him grieve right now.
What evidence is there around?
My eyes will briefly leap from Maguire.
Okay.
But
Tara, roll a perception check. And Theron, you look at the kitchenette immediately.
It's weighted, obviously.
You see one pinhole in the wall and one pinhole in one of the cabinets.
Bullets.
But you see just towards the ground, just off center of Drimbar's wife, you see part of the wooden floor is completely chewed up from bullet holes, as if the first two had got them down and the rest were just to kill.
Yeah. I'm seething at this point, and I'll just be like to Pop, so we're like, if you need us, give us a shout, and I'll just walk out.
And as you begin to walk away, you see Pop like pull his head up for a second. You're a very good girl.
I know, Pop-Ups. I am sorry.
As he just like sinks his head back down between his wife and Rory. Tara, what was your perception?
So it was a natural 20.
Nice.
Totaling 24.
Okay. You look through the kitchen, you find nothing. You look through the back room and you find nothing. And the one thing you didn't see is the living room as it is, nearly untouched except the coffee table is hurled just next to the door, as if it was there to barricade. And you look around at some of the furniture that's been moved slightly, and just off on the far back, towards the far back wall of the living room, just below a small cracked window, you see a dark brown Stetson just sitting there.
Dark brown what? Sorry,
Stetson, like a cowboy hat, like a wide-rimmed hat, just left there, standing on its own.
Have I seen this hat being worn by anyone before, or is it Pop-Pop's hat? Or...
Roll a history check for me.
13. With a history, it is 15.
Okay. You remember this style, and it is very similar and akin to that of Duke's hat that he always used to wear.
Dun, dun, dun.
Frustration and anger through realization of this prick. I'm going to grab the hat and try to see if it's got the, it's like this hat belongs to, and put it on the inside. To see if there's any.
Check for traps.
I don't give a shit. It's more anger of I'm just going to grab.
Yeah, you grab and you pull the hat, and just as you're about to look into the hat, you notice what was under it.
Uh-oh.
You see a small cigar lying on the ground with a fully manufactured bullet standing straight up, and both of them are just below the cold and lifeless form of your owlbear cub, Mogwai. The eyes are shut. There's no goggles, there's no blood. You just see him lying there, lifeless and gone.
I'm going to move whatever I can to get him in my arms.
Yeah, there's nothing else in the immediate vicinity. It's just scoop him up, and you see his form just kind of the thick talons just kind of slump to the bottom of his body as the head just gently rocks backward.
Gonna pat his face. Mogwai? I'm back. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. And I'm going to turn my figure into the old version of like a familiar face to Mogwai, be my previous self.
Yeah. As the skin you turn into that form once again.
Mogwai. Try to shake him up more.
And you just see
I'll try to grab him in my bag to see if I've got any leftover like meat and try to rub it near his nose. Come on, you love this.
the beak doesn't move.
Probably because he's dead.
I'm going to pocket the cigar. I'm going to put inside of my pockets in the bullet. I'm going to produce flame and burn the hat.
Theron, just
Yeah.
as you're at the doorway, you hear, after Terra begging towards Mogwai, you hear as flame begins to roar and you begin to smell burnt hide and leather. as Tara is just holding her one hand out, clutching Mogwai in her other arm, and you see the anger in her eyes as the orange, amber, red fury of flame encases what was left of that hat, charring it to ash.
Yeah, and even with ash, I'm still going to
Still.
just keep going and going, and then I'll put Mogwai down and just keep and getting closer and closer at it, and I'm just
And
full on
the heat in this room.
I'll just walk up to wherever to is, and I'll be like, stop.
And start using the other hand to just keep firing them in.
Yeah.
Tara.
And you see the ash just beginning to flutter around, and it's near enough, Terry. You are just going at ground right now as you continue.
Yeah. Literally don't care. I'm just going to keep going. If Theron tries to stop me, I'm just going to elbow move him out of the way and just full on just keep going.
Theron, what would you like to do?
I'll only stop if the house starts to burn down. Then I'll.
Okay, Theron, can you make a unarmed strike for me against Tara to see if you can grapple her, if that's what you're trying to do? And Tara, you roll an unarmed strike.
I'm not trying to hit her.
No, but that's how it works. Unarmed strike to try and grapple, and then it's the athletics against acrobatics when they try and slip away. So Tara,
I'm doing athletics then.
No, you're doing an unarmed strike.
Which is
and I'm unarmed strike into elbows away.
It was actually good. It was 18.
I'll tell you now, we've rolled the same. Rolled an 18 also. But
18 plus 5.
It is the exact same. I got an 18. I'm an 18 plus 5 also.
Nice. So both 23. As Theron, you are able to grab onto Tara.
That was sort of like.
And you're wriggling around, but at one point, one of her arms just catches under yours and cracks you just in the jaw.
Ow! We rolled the same. Then we just played.
Because I am superior. And you should better fucking know.
You have Tara grappled. You have Tara grappled right now, and after that, knock to the jaw, and taking how much damage for an arm strike for you, Tara?
I believe it's 2. Let me just confirm. 2 damage.
Okay, 2 points of bludgeoning damage, but you are able to hold her and stop her from doing much of anything now.
You'll see blood
Tara,
trickle from.
You're just howled now and wriggling, and as Theron kind of holds you, and you know that elbow made contact as you look over your shoulder, and you do see the faintest drip of blood coming down from his nose.
Get off me!
Terror, just be with my quiet.
Get off me!
Okay. I've already let go at that point.
and that as you open up that unarmed strike, Terror, as that one last elbow goes for his stomach.
Yeah. Do you want me to? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fucking same. I rolled an 18 as well.
Yeah. So 2 more points of bludgeoning damage to you, Theron. Just as it hits in the stomach. Yeah. Just as it catches you in the stomach as you let go.
Do I anything sick that I can fucking do as the last bit?
So that's 4 damage overall, yeah?
Yeah.
Nearly dead. No, I'm joking.
No, I am literally just gonna keep. I'm just gonna keep produce flame and throwing it at it.
At one point, after a few more moments of the ash or where it used to be, does a 19 hit you, Tara?
Just.
Hey, what's hitting?
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
As you feel just a thunderous crack into your hamstring that puts you down to your one knee, and you feel the large dwarvish hand of Pop on your shoulder pull you in to his face, and just interior, you are going to stop that now! We have all lost a lot. Do you understand me? I want to hear you say it.
I'll try to push him out of his chest.
And he's
With
just
some
holding that.
force.
He's holding that
Yeah.
one arm. Tell me you understand.
I'll push just enough so my mouth can start moving. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna fall in and brace.
And you knock him off of Senna as you like floor him. Oh, shite! And then he like kind of slowly wraps around you and starts patting your back.
And I'll just be like, by the way, what were you burning?
I'm just gonna ignore and just keep embracing for now. Mentally, I'll have a note that you said that. I have mentally.
And you see Pop Up
I'll
look up
be
at you,
outside. Yeah.
and you just see him mouth the words.
I'll be outside.
And just as you're embraced in Pop Pop's arms, you just hear like that very not soothing but still comforting voice.
Oh, out of interest, is Pop Pop's got his backy on him?
You could probably find some pipe tobacco.
Yeah. Theron feels like a fucking cigarette. That's what's up.
Well, it is pipe tobacco, so good luck trying to find anything to roll it into a cigarette.
Yeah, I'll just nick his pipe.
You in the kitchen you find like a small little pipe rack of like 4 different ones that he's not using.
Mine.
Okay, and you take the
I'll
tobacco.
pick the shittiest one.
Okay, you find this small little like very makeshift, almost like his first pipe that he made himself, and he had no idea what carpentry was.
No, changed mine. One up from that one then.
Okay. You take a very nice, well-shaven, almost like briar pipe, where it's just like this nice small
that's
ball
more for
end,
you.
and you begin to pack it, and you go and
Yeah,
you
I'll
light
pack
it. And
I'm not in the house. I'm just going to go outside.
Yeah, okay.
Have
And
a
you
puff.
head outside and you start popping.
Stressed as fuck,
Yeah,
mate.
and Tara pop while he's embracing you. It's going to be okay. I know we've lost a lot. But screaming into the ground is not going to do anything.
Says a guy who headbutted someone multiple times.
We have our ways of dealing with this. But you need to know when to stop. As he says, as you look up, and his beard is covered in leech's blood all over his face.
Yeah. Here's my baby.
I know. And they were mine.
I'll saying that as an agreement. I'll squeeze him a little harder.
We will do what they deserve.
Yes.
We will lay them to rest properly.
Yeah.
And then we will find this little shite. And we'll tear him limb from limb. That is what we'll do.
Yeah.
Now wipe your eyes. And he pulls away and just like holds you on either shoulder. We'll get through this together.
Yeah.
As he just taps you lightly on the arm.
I'm sorry, I pointing at the burn patch.
It can be fixed. Don't worry about that. We've got a lot more important things to think about. And you see Pop Up look towards the doorway. Are you using one of my pipes, you little girl?
Yeah, I'm stressed as fuck.
Then hand me the pondweed over then.
Do you want me to pack you one?
No. You don't know what you're doing. Pass it here. And he pulls out his own pipe. As you just launch in the small little like leather-bound pouch of pondweed and tobacco, and he begins to pack his own pipe. All the while, just as the house begins to fill with pipe smoke, and
I've got the door open.
yeah,
By the door.
yeah, but still, Pop isn't smoking outside.
Is this how you do it?
And Theron makes an absolute embarrassment of himself trying to smoke a pipe for the first time.
What's the big end in his mouth?
Yeah. Whilst
Tastes a bit ashy.
whilst Pop puffs away, and you see a very pained look on his face, but comforting towards you, and you all find yourselves in the same spot. And while that's going on, Aaron, Gerald and Finn take you down below deck, just as the dragon begins to circle around the brown barnacle as it's docked. What would you guys like to do?
Admittedly, I thought Finn was taking Aaron towards the gangplank.
Sorry, yes,
and we
sorry,
were heading,
ignore me. Yeah, sorry.
Because my instructions were no one gets on till we get back.
Okay, ignore me, sorry, yeah. Got all confused with splitting back and forth. Finn, you begin to like sort of nudge Aaron after he lost the staring contest with Bob over to the gangplank, and Gerald, you hear him mutter some orders towards Bob before he begins to join both of you towards the gangplank. Where would you guys like to go? What would you like to do?
Gerald, you've been here before. Where do you think the guys are going to be?
Well, we should head towards Pop's house. I'm not expecting a great scene, but I'm guessing everyone will be there.
Ooh. Yeah, I've got a feeling you might be right there.
If the ship is anything to go by.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to drop in behind Gerald.
Okay.
Follow your lead.
Yeah, I will head up that way.
Okay.
I'd like to bring out the note that Lil G had. Actually read, or at least the package, see if it is even covered in a note or anything. Just open it up, see what's on it.
Okay.
As we walk up.
Just remind me, what did you send off for again?
I asked for the dangerous cards, so essentially it was the cards of the deck of many things that we found.
Yes.
Metagame wise, that's what I know they are, but of course, all they've been referred to as dangerous.
Okay. There's no message or note. You open the small, like parchment covered package, and you see a small wooden case, and you just creak it open slightly as you look in, and if my memory serves right, there is a small deck of about 12 cards laid out in there, with the card backs facing you, and you see the card backs themselves look like a mixture between an open nebula and galaxy with stars gently whirring, and in front of them you see cogs just ticking around, and all of this is happening in unison on the backs of the cards.
Yeah. Just resealing, putting away for the moment. Just making sure that that is exactly what I'm expecting. I'd like to actually try and keep it fairly discreet from Aaron and Finn.
Roll a sleight of hand check then for me, and I will go off of Aaron and Finn's passives.
Okay. That is, alright, sleight of hand plus 5, so 17.
17. Finn, you notice nothing. And Aaron, as your score is just equal to that, you do notice Gerald's very subtly and almost getting it by you, subtly looking down at a small little wooden box and latching it shut, and then trying to very carefully put it away without you or Finn noticing. And you see Finn is happily following Gerald, but then looking around at the town and looking around at the scenery behind it as well. But your eyes catch the very minute tell that Gerald is palming off this small little box.
I'm gonna lock eyes with Gerald.
Oh, I won't be looking at you. I'll just be walking as I try to.
Okay.
Put it in.
Then I'm not gonna catch him out.
Okay.
I'll make a mental note of that.
Okay. So, as you both continue to follow Gerald, about 10 minutes of a walk, you head past a couple small business shacks. You head past a couple blacksmithing open-air sheds, and into the more homely estates and areas of Guldrone, which are very just singular little shacks built from hand, right next to the other, with a little bit of space in between, but nothing lavish or eccentric. Just basically as much as good as probably bare minimum can get.
Do we see a lot of holes, or at least a few holes in each of the buildings? Or no?
Roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
All of us will just.
Whoever's
Nat
looking.
20.
Oh, nice.
So
I'm always looking.
31 for perception.
Okay, 31.
31. I've got
Fuck
expertise.
Okay, I think Gerald needs to be blocked at level fucking 11. No more now.
You have to multi-class.
Aaron, what did you roll?
I got 18.
Okay, all right. So, I mean, not a 31, but still good.
Yeah.
Aaron, you notice you can't really see any bullet holes or pinholes in buildings, like on the exterior. As you pass, Gerald, you notice the smallest in some homes, from some angles as you pass, you notice like barely like millimeters of part of like the window frame is slightly chipped, as if the accuracy was so incredible that it just barely scraped by. In most of these buildings, whether they look like they were unaware or fully ready to fight, the most you see on 3 out of the 40 or so buildings around. You see about 3 of them on the windowsills or on the doorways. It's the slightest little scratch of where a bullet or a pallet might have flown across it.
Okay. And that's just what I was looking at, so carried on walking towards pots.
Yeah.
This place is a dump. I'm not looking, I'm just eating out the bag.
Yeah. You keep just stuffing your face and then having a couple of glugs of wine before putting it off to your ding 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 belt.
Yep.
And before long, you make it to a small home and hovel. You see Theron standing outside. Coughing and sputtering.
Gerald.
Having fun, are we?
Yeah, take this off me.
Okay.
Here he is, the man of the hour.
I just immediately hand it back to whoever. Don't even know who's immediately behind me, but I just put my arm back with the pipe.
I've got it. I've got it.
I'm gonna look as if I reached for it, but
yeah.
Finn got it first.
Yeah, everyone's hand that you just like sheepishly reach out, curious, and Finn just goes, "Got it," and just takes it out of Gerald's palm before you can. And you've done it before, expertly. Just...
Smoke rings straight at Theron.
And you look around.
Who messed up with the hag?
Eh? Oh, that bitch. She sort of like used some kind of force thing, and I went flying onto my back. It felt like my soul got ripped out for a moment and came back into my body, just as I'd probably expect. Gerald, it's bad news here.
I kinda guessed the ship is no better.
So, how's beautiful?
She's alright. Scared, but she's
Padri-
intact.
Padrine?
Bob's the only one.
Fuck. Any evidence?
Hit ton of holes? That's pretty much all we got. That, well, I did a bit of a short 12 onto Bob.
Oh yeah,
Seems a Leonin attacked.
a Leonin.
Looking very much like Duke, but dark amber.
Oh, so it wasn't actually Duke?
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Well, Bullets, Leonin. He's the only one we met before, so I'm still putting my money on him. But he did die, so
We'll go
either
with
his
it.
brother or maybe it's a part of that group that Red mentioned.
The shepherds.
The shepherd.
Oh, have you just parked up, Tori?
Yeah, when you started talking about obviously all this bad stuff, I'm only going to say that word.
Yeah. And just at Tara's word as well, Gerald, Aaron, and Finn, you kind of look into the doorway, and you see Tara sitting on her butt with her legs outstretched right next to Pop Pop as he's smoking, and they're both just looking off into the rest of the living room, empty and barren, as Tara is just like holding Mogwai or set to the side, whatever you prefer.
Yeah, it's probably going to be on me,
Yeah,
like
on her chest, and just holding across him, as Pop Pop just looks off into the vacant distance. As you look past them into the kitchen area, and you see an older dwarven woman and a younger dwarven man, splayed out, riddled with holes.
I'm gonna walk in, kind of springing my step to start with, but as I get towards the kitchen, I'm gonna sort of realise what's going on, and I'll look at Pop Pop, and I'll grab him a bottle of wine off my belt, hand him one, sit next to him, pop the cork out of mine. It's a bad day, big man. It's a bad day.
And he just like flicks the cork off of the bottle you handed him.
Nice cork noise.
Thank you. And
The cork hits you around the face.
yeah, fuck.
well deserved.
And he just turns to you.
Little red mark.
It's really one of the worst. To our health and those we've lost.
And this pipeweed.
And that was my special collection.
Good stuff.
You're welcome. And Pop Pop and Finn both kind of just relax for a second. One bottle of wine in hand, one pipe just puffing away. And yeah, Gerald, Tara, and Theron, all of you, like you hear Tara mention the word the shepherds.
Give me a swig. So, we need information.
Like the information we could have got from the hag.
I'll just look at him. Well, you're welcome to go try it yourself, dickhead.
Well, am I just?
Fuck off then.
I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna say, "See you in a minute." I'm gonna wine in hand, pipe in the other.
Be careful not to die.
I'm going to pretend like I know where I'm going, but about 20 meters away, I'm going to turn around and be like,
As soon as he turns around, I'm going to sprint, fly up into him, grab him by the back with my leg talons, and take him.
Okay. As Finn, you get outside, and a few steps later, and then you see a vacant behind you. As Aaron, I want you to make a talon attack against Finn. And this isn't to see any damage. It's just to see if you can latch onto him.
Is it just unarmed strike that I'm doing? Because I don't have talent.
If you don't have talent, you go for an unarmed strike then for me, yeah. And I'll say advantage just because Finn is gently getting drunk again and not knowing what's going on anyway.
I thought with talons, you use a D4 instead of.
Yeah, I thought so too, but that's only if it says you have talons. Like with Gerald, he has talons on his hands.
Damage, isn't it?
And it's damage, but Aaron has it on his feet, not his hands.
It's 18 plus 6, so that is 24.
Okay, so 24. That does hit Finn, I assume.
Yeah.
Tracy. So you easily.
It just says a 3. It doesn't say a dice. So is that?
Yeah, it says that would be 3 damage. Yeah, but you don't. But Finn, you take no damage as this is just to pick up, and I'm going easier. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Three piercing damage as you and you feel your shoulders pull up, and a little bit into your skin.
Collarbone.
Yeah, you feel one talon just sink in just slightly to your collarbone, as Aaron you and pick Finn up from the ground. Where are you heading?
I'm going to take him to the hag because I've been there.
Okay, all right. You coast a little bit slower than you're used to carrying Finn. As Finn, you are just feeling the breeze against you. You think your pipe has gone out for a second before, and it's still lit. As you take another swig of wine, as you're beginning to get lowered, and you get on your feet and up to a balance.
I'm going to rub my shoulder, my collarbones, and be like, with the sneak again. What have I told you? A hoot. And I'll just grab your feet. I'm going to...
no response from me.
Swag up to where I imagine the door's going to be of this...
Well, you see the small front door is set, and this old decrepit shack stands in front of you as Aaron kind of just stands there for a moment, just watching from a distance.
Yeah, I'll walk up to the door and just... Anyone in?
And as you hear the audible. And then the door slightly.
Yeah, she definitely wants a deal.
And you look
She's reset everything for a new user.
You look into the similar room that Theron once saw. Tables cast to the side, overturned, trinkets and baubles everywhere. Yet her on a small child-sized wicker seat. Over a small little writing desk is looming over. And you see as the height of the ceiling is fairly low, even sitting, you notice that her head is just tilted a bit.
The door closed behind him.
Can
I see him still?
Well, you can see him. Finn's still outside. He hasn't stepped in yet.
As he's walking in, I'm going to hoot for his attention. Yeah, and I'm going to pull out the strange, waxy, magical item nature box that I have.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't say your penis.
And
I'm
just gonna sort of underarm throw it to you, and find out what this is.
Okay, not really why we're here, but I'll try my best. I'll try.
And then I'll take a step back and then fold my arms.
Okay, I'm gonna hold the box sort of under my arm and like take a few steps into the room.
And you step forward, and the door just... And everyone immediately, like before, you see the wood just swallow up the door. And Finn, you look behind you, and there's just solid wall behind you now. And then you look back.
Not creepy at all.
You look back, and on the writing desk is that small capsule box that everyone handed to you, and it's not in your hand anymore.
Oh. So,
Is this a gift that you've brought me?
well, it's not mine, so I guess.
Shit back.
Do you know what it is?
I appreciate the gift.
And one large hand comes over, enveloping the entire thing, as she just slides it off and off the desk. And you don't hear any thud as the hand comes back.
Okay. Well, he's gonna be annoyed with me. Anyway. Do you know what's gone on around here? And also, why is your room such a mess?
Chaos has come. And it has wrought everything.
This is what's happened in here. Is this your stuff?
Do you have the same facade as the one before?
Yeah, but you'll find me way more reasonable.
Your brother disagrees. Reasonable or selfish. The
Well.
inability to take accountability for your actions.
Yeah, fuck you, Finn.
Your parents are disappointed, Finn.
Yeah, so disappointed.
My
How
parents
long
are
has it
all
been?
disappointed. How do you know all this?
I know a lot. You could have more knowledge if you're willing to give me something.
Bingo, there it is.
And what something might that be?
Tell me what you want. What you really, really desire.
Oh, I thought you'd go do Spice Girls then.
I thought he was going to say, one.
And tell me what you are willing to trade.
Well, I'm kind of a free spirit, so whatever you want, I'm sure I can find a way of getting.
And her mouth curls open widely with this huge grin. And you see a long grey tongue just serpent out across her top lip before snaking back into her mouth.
Good.
Sexy.
Tell me what you want.
I would like to know, first and foremost, what happened here and who we need to look out for. Secondly, I would actually like to know what that box was that you've just taken. And thirdly, I'd like to know what you want from me.
All of your wishes. for just one thing for me. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Fucking dodgy.
I can make this worth your while.
How so?
Well, it seems to me like you're in a house that's too small. All your stuff's all over the floor. You don't look so well yourself. How about I have a word with a friend of mine who, give him his due, does hold some sway of one of the local towns. Potentially we could get you set up with some better digs, more opportunity to meet people, set up some of your deals. This could work out both well for both of us.
By the way, Theron she ain't going anywhere near Geralt, mate.
Roll,
I'll kill her before that happens.
roll a perception check. Oh, sorry, roll a persuasion check with disadvantage for me, please.
Oh, that means it was
Advantage.
working.
Just as it hit 20.
Oh.
Ooh, 19. Laws.
What was that? Your highest roll or lowest roll?
Lower.
Lowest.
30. 19 was my lowest. I rolled nat 20
Oh,
first.
nice.
And then that's 30 in total.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
Sorry, Bard. I mean, what?
You see her eyes like look directly at you and grow wider as you label off these possibilities.
I know what I want.
And what might that be?
You. I will give you all of what you desire and what you have asked of me. In return, when you find no breath hitting your lungs and no light hitting into your cold, vacant eyes, you will become me and live longer. That
Live longer.
is your eternity.
Well, I mean, I'm not planning on dying anytime soon, so seems like a good deal for me. Eternal life. Will I have to look like you?
In the end,
That was the deal breaker.
You've got yourself a deal.
And the large arm and the hand, by the way, the palm isn't all too big, but the fingers are so long they can cover your entire face with some to wrap over. As she brings her hand out and offers it to you. And as you shake, you just see one finger from that hand begin to stretch out and begin to snake. And that finger, as it reaches just towards your chest, you see that finger just sprout out more limbs and just crack out as a smaller hand just appears from that finger. And you feel this immense burning pain. I want you to roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Wow. 25.
25.
Oh, and I meant 29.
29.
For some reason, I'm proficient in Constitution.
you only take 29 points of piercing damage as this hand just like pierces into your sternum, and you feel it begin to just stretch out. You feel your ribs tensing against the tension. You feel your breastplate slightly snap up for a moment, and you feel your heart as the hand pulls out with a vicious twist. And this hand on the end of this elongated finger holds up to your face your still beating heart, slowly. Just pulsing. Before the hand begins to snake back. And that finger still stretches it out, and the hand just dips below the desk. And in a blink of pain as you look down, and her hand is normal again. You look to your chest, and except for a tear and a rip in your garbs, you see flesh and skin like normal.
Was that real?
I own you now. You will be me. Just wait till you're called.
As the hand snakes away from yours.
Okay.
Now what do you desire?
Your turn. Tell me what's going on.
An old friend of your friends returned a former shell of themselves. A lion man, burnt to sunder, grown again by a devourer and a magnificent beast of vengeance and revenge. They wrought destruction upon Goltron. They left gifts for your friends. And they brought the chaos that was coming to them.
So they own him. That's who you're on about. Just one man.
Yes.
And how did he not kill you?
And you see her eyes look you up and down, and you see just below you on the desk now your slow beating heart, pumping, appeared from nowhere.
I have my way.
And she looks back down at your heart, just very gently.
Your next question you desired from me.
You know, given that you've just taken my heart and everything, I think I'll take that box back.
Very well.
And the hand just passes it to you.
And while we're doing this, what is it?
And you just see her eyes look towards it. And you see her eyes, albeit dark and blank already. You see a small shock of the pupils disappearing, and all of her eyes go wide for a moment before appearing again.
It is a pressure capsule. You consume it, and you are able to swim at great depths uninhabitable by any other creatures.
Okay, good to know. And a final question before I get out of here. That heart of mine, I'll be getting it back. How do you plan on stopping me?
It is mine now. Your property has left its body. I have claimed possession. And if your friends or you try to relieve me of this life, you will come with me to share eternity together.
Afraid you'd say that. Okay. Will you be remaining here?
I will be wherever you need me,
Oh dear.
wherever I am needed.
Okay. Well, seems we've got each other for the rest of eternity. I'm gonna go now. Get yourself a better house, some better things.
I look forward to it.
Oh.
Before you turn around and the door grows out of the wood. And you look back to her and she's staring with a big smile.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of back out of the door and then turn and walk away.
And Aaron, as the door opens, after not a long while, you look in and you see as Finn is backing up, walking out the door, looking towards the hag with your item that you handed it to him in his hand. You look past Finn's shoulder and you see I'd say from this distance, you just see the big smile on the hag, and you see a small, bright red object on her desk. And as Finn pulls out, the door just closes.
I'm gonna toss the box back to you.
As you look up and you catch it.
So it turns out you eat it, and it means you can swim super deep. Oh, and I also know exactly who it was who came and killed everyone. So,
As you-
time to go.
And as Finn says that and begins to walk, Finn, how much are you trying to hide the torn garb? Or are you not?
Completely. Yeah. Well, he's kind of in a waistcoat anyway, so it's, I guess it's kind of a little frayed, I guess. But yeah, I'll just be sort of like.
Alright, I'll say then, roll a sleight of hand check with disadvantage to see if, like, as you're kind of subtly trying to hide it or fix it. Pass that roll.
22.
22. Okay. Aaron, would you like to roll a perception check for me, please? And I would also say in this. Actually, no, because it's fair. Yeah, just standard roll for me.
15.
Okay. You notice Finn like straightening himself up, but aside from that, he's just straightening himself up and almost impatient to get back. And you both head back. Is there anything either of you want to do or say on the walk back as you're on your own for the next 5 minutes or so?
I'm gonna ask Finn. What did the hag take from you?
Couple of gold pieces. Charm, couple of decent compliments. You know how it is. The ladies love me.
Finn, just in that moment, just after that, you hear a cacophony of whispers in your head. And you hear a familiar voice peek through.
Show our legacy.
I want you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please. And now with disadvantage.
I knew you were going to take the deal.
That is 10.
Womp womp.
Without any control to your arms, Finn, as you're trying to charm away, and just at the end, as everyone, you are looking confusedly, you see Finn. And he just grabs onto the shirt and pulls the cloak away and open, and you see where his waistcoat and shirt has just been eviscerated in a circle just at the center of his chest. No marks on the flesh or the chest itself, but the clothing is torn at this shape and gap. As Finn, you are uncontrollably holding this open before you hear that whisper again in your head, Finn.
Thank you.
Wasn't part of the deal.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh,
and
God.
come back next week to continue from there.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck,
Oh.
that was awesome.
What have you got yourself into there?
Bad stuff. Bad stuff.
Well done, Theron, for initiating that.
You could have asked for a bigger dick on top of that. You might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, Aaron, didn't you send me a picture when using Wish, or like when you ask when you wish for a big cock and it's just like a little man with a giant cockerel next to him, just looking disappointed. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Holy shit, guys! I fucking love that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I'm really unsettled by that.
Mm-hmm.
You did it!
I'm not gonna lie, Finn. I'm not gonna trust anything that you do from now on.
No.
As soon as next week's episode starts, I'm pulling my bow on you.
Yeah.
I'm hunting you down.
I do the hunting.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't forget to do a trick shot with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was so fucking awesome. I do want to say for Finn, I say Finn and Tara, because you guys blew me away for this episode. I do want to reward you a inspiration point. If you still have one, then it doesn't stack; it just replaces that one. But I just want to make sure that you know that, yeah, you blew me away. I thought you did awesome, as well as everyone else, because you're all fucking amazing, and I just fucking love doing this. It's amazing. before we go, we just want to thank a new follower, Akio Eloise. Thank you very much for following the show. Hope you enjoy it, and hope you stick around for a while. But to everyone watching, and with all that said and done, thank you very much for watching. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you next time.